All right, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning. My name is Sergeant First Class Owen, and I'm about to give you your next lesson over Identify the Competition. Now imagine, if you will, you're a new recruiter in a new center in a city that has little to no military presence whatsoever. Other than your initial thought of jackpot, right? You need to get out there into your area and figure out what threats are out there. You need to identify the competition. You need to find out what their strengths and their weaknesses are so you can exploit them for your own center's mission success. So let's talk about threats first. What threats do you perceive USAREC faces on a daily basis? A few more hands. Starting right here.
Other branches of service.
Other branches of service, okay. Sergeant Stover in the back.
Big corporations.
Big corporations. All right. Sergeant Banks.
Universities, colleges.
Universities, colleges, okay. What you're talking about is more of the competition, right? I want to know a little bit more of the threats that are out there. There's some serious threats that are going to be against your recruiting operation, right? Or your recruiting environment. Yes, Sergeant, back here.
Anti-military people.
Okay, you went dark. I got you. No problem. Anti-military people, I like it. Sergeant.
The perception of what they think about the military.
Okay.
Even if there's no presence around, so they may not know what it's about.
They might not know about the military, right? Or they might not know about the Army. What about time? Is time going to be a threat to your recruiting environment? Right? What about weather? Right? If you're planning on going out to a park and doing some recruiting out there, some face-to-face, and then it turns out it started to rain, that just screwed your whole day up, right? Your whole plan up, right? So now you got to adjust for it, right? So that's a threat. What about the TV? What about news? Fake news. Fake news. Right? Is that gonna hinder a whole community if something gets put out and it's false? It'll take you a while to overcome that kind of stuff, right? Okay. All right, so would you feel if your competitors now were more successful than you? What's that? Heartbroken. Okay, that's a good answer. What else? What's that? Inferior, okay. Sergeant, yes.
You got to take a look at what they're doing, that they're being successful, so you can try to adapt some of those things that they're using into how you're going to recruit as well.
Is he right? Definitely right. That's a great answer. Good job. Yeah, definitely right. It's going to make you do two things. And you don't really know this yet because you haven't been in that environment, but you're getting ready to be in that environment, right? So it's either going to make you feel like crap and you're going to quit, and then you're just going to take a knee for the next 3 years, or it's going to motivate you to get better, to learn what their strengths are, how they're working the high schools, that kind of stuff, right? And they're going to make you get better. But only you are going to be the one to decide that once you get out into the recruiting environment. So let's take a look at the terminal learning objectives today. All right, action. Identify the competition. Conditions. As a member of a recruiting center, you must identify your competition in your assigned area, given access to USAREC Manual 3-0, Internet access, and Recruiter Workstation. Standard. Identify the Army's competition during prospecting operations and the Army interview. So let's go over the safety requirements first, just like we do every single morning, right? So this is a 21st century classroom. Please be mindful of the laptops and all the wires for the internet connection and everything else. In case there's a tornado, I don't foresee it, but in case there's a tornado, what we're going to do is we're going to get up in an orderly fashion. We're going to walk out these doors. We're going to get on the hallway, and we're going to squat down, and we're going to hopefully that it passes right by us, right? So in case of a fire, we have two different doors, right? Two sets of doors. We're going to go away from the fire. We're going to go out into the parking lot, down by the dumpsters, where the class leader is going to get accountability, and then he'll report back up to me. All right? Now, in case of an active shooter, we have these two fine young Americans right here that are going to get up. They're going to lock the door. Everybody else is going to get up all the way down to the wall, and we're going to squat down because we've got windows right here, right? And there's a threat of a drive-by threat, right? But we're also going to turn off our cell phones, silence them, and then we're going to be as quiet as a mouse. Risk assessment level is low. It's always low. All right, I like it. Now, here at Fort Knox, what we like to do is we like to recycle, reduce, and reuse. So no matter what, you got to do the right thing even when nobody is watching. All right, now this lesson is going to be evaluated over your week 4 comp exam. All right, it's a 120-minute exam. You got to get it 80% or higher to keep going, right? So I have one question. Who's down with ROE? Oh, that's a lot better. Okay, so recruiting operation environment. We've already talked about this in a previous lesson, right? This is going to basically be a big majority of this class. We've also talked about the internal and external networks in a previous class. So that's going to come into play when we talk about support. All right? Now, what you got to do, though, is we got to, in our recruiting operational environment, we got to find out what threats are out there. And then we also got to find the competition, and we got to exploit their strengths and weaknesses for our own mission success, right? All right. So can somebody tell me what competition means to them in your own words? A few more hands. Wait for a few more hands. Sergeant Tejas. Yeah, go ahead.
Competition to me, Sergeant, is somebody who is actually better than me at something, and I will always try to reach or strive to get to his level.
Okay. All right. I like it. Sergeant Golden, yes.
Competition is me and one other person doing the same thing. We're going at each other to see who can win so who can get better at it.
I like it. It's the Mortal Kombat effect, right? 2 people enter, and only 1 person comes out alive. Right? Finish him. Don't take it that extreme, right? But you get the point. 2 people enter, 1 person comes out. So who do you think that the Army's biggest competitors are? Sergeant in the back, second row.
I would say like schools, universities, and also the other branches.
Okay, all right. Schools and universities. Sergeant Banks.
I feel like we're our biggest competitors, aren't
The Army is the biggest competitor. Okay, all right. Sergeant.
Employment opportunities.
Employment opportunities, okay. All right, everybody, if you're not there, go to USEREC Manual 3-0 and pull up 3-33. Those are all good answers, by the way. Definitely good ones, right? But this is going to tell you the 2 main ones. So there's a little disclaimer here. The first one is sister services. Anybody have a sister in recruiting? You sure? Okay. All right, disclaimer, that's not what that means. Okay, so what does sister services mean? Sergeant, yes, Florence. So Air Force, okay, what else? Sergeant Stover. Marine Corps. Sergeant, right here.
Navy.
The Navy, okay, these are good ones. What else? Who else? Sergeant Skillern.
Coast Guard.
Ooh, Coast Guard, is he right? Is the Coast Guard right? You're exactly right. Right? That's definitely one of the other branches, as well as the Army National Guard and the Air National Guard, right? Okay, so now let's look at other non-DoD job opportunities. What's that? What's that in the community? Yes, Sergeant.
Could be law enforcement.
Law enforcement, okay. Why law enforcement, Sergeant?
I'm not going to say do something similar, but they go through a beginning training period, kind of copying what the military does.
Okay.
They can actually become a certified, police officer or other parts of the law enforcement.
Okay, I like it. I like it. Yes, Sergeant.
Still serve the people.
For the law enforcement. Okay, so they serve people. All right, well, what else? What other job? Yes. Chick-fil-A.
You're off every Sunday.
You're off every Sunday. Are we off every Sunday too, Sergeant? We could be, right? Why do you say Chick-fil-A?
Their sandwiches are delicious, and they actually have a huge chain. They're a massive chain.
So you're saying it's a big organization, just like the Army is. Okay, and they have Sundays off. I like that. Okay. Okay, yes, Sergeant Hicks.
Some of the family businesses, like they recruit their kids while you're trying to recruit their kids.
Okay, so they're going to come work for mom and pop, and you're trying to recruit those kids as well. Okay, I like it. Anybody else? Sergeant Tate in the back. Job Corps. Okay, so more of like a school. Learn a trade. Okay, I like it. What about McDonald's? Or something like Chick-fil-A without the Sundays, right? But McDonald's, is that a main competitor for the Army? I'm getting mixed signals here. Okay, let's break it down, okay? So you got McDonald's and you got the Army. So McDonald's is going to pay somebody, some places, $15 an hour, right? They're going to get a paycheck just like the Army does, right? We pay our people, you get a paycheck, exactly like the Army. All right, McDonald's actually does do medical and dental. Okay, so you can get medical and dental through McDonald's or Chick-fil-A or one of the other fast food restaurants, right? But the Army does the exact same thing. Okay, so now a lot of places now, a lot of the fast food chains, but McDonald's in particularly, they give 100% college tuition. If you didn't know that, they do. So now, does the Army give money for college? Yeah, TA, Montgomery GI Bill, that kind of stuff, right? So we have the same stuff right there. Does that make them a main competitor? Yes. Exactly. So now you're going to have to find something that guy that's cooking those sweet and salty, savory fries in the back, you're going to have to find out what makes him tick, right? Because he's already getting that college money. He's already getting that medical and health. He's already getting $15 an hour. Some places, not all, right? But the big thing is that you're going to have to find something else that the Army can help him with out in life. Maybe experience or excitement, or service to country, travel. Exactly, right? You got to find out what makes that guy tick, right? And that's what you got to. Everybody's not going to go for college. Some people already have college, right? So you got to figure out what's going to make that person tick. All right, so let's go to USEREC Manual 3-0. Let's go to Chapter 1. Somebody tell me what the 8 operational variables are. All right, let's go with Sergeant Hill.
So the 8 operational variables are political, military, economic, social, information, infrastructure, physical environment, and time.
Okay, class, is he right? Okay, so where did you find that, Sergeant?
It starts in 1-12.
1-12. Okay, so we're not going to go through all these, but let's go down the line a little bit. Let's go down to 1-16. 1-16. Let's go to the social variable. How will the social variable affect the recruiting environment? Not that many hands, sergeants. You know what? Let's do a demonstration real quick. All right. Everybody, put out your arm just like this. Everybody. All right. Extend your fingers as much as possible. Strain them, right? All the way. Now put your palm face down. Now raise your arm. Now we got the most class participation in any of my classes. I like it. So somebody tell me how the social variable will affect the recruiting environment. Sergeant Ellis.
Knowing the city and the area around you, understanding like the cultural factors which play into why kids make the decisions they do going to high school, why they get the jobs they do, why they choose to go to college over joining the military.
Okay. Is he right? That sounds like a good answer, right? Think of it this way. It's a social aspect, right? The cultural, right? So you're about to go into a place, and there's going to be neighborhoods, there's going to be boroughs, right? Or there's going to be a society that's cut off from everybody else. It's going to be their own circle. It's their own group of friends. It might be the group of friends at a cafeteria table. But you have to figure out a way to break that circle. You have to get into that community or to that neighborhood or to that group of people, and you have to actually sit down with them, right? Talk to them like normal people at first, right? Maybe in civilian clothes. Just sit down, talk to them, figure out what they're into, figure out what they do in that neighborhood, figure out some good places to go in that neighborhood. And then come back in your uniform, ASUs, OCPs, whatever, right? And then people are going to get to know you, and they're going to be like, hey, what do you do? I see you're in a uniform. What do you do? Oh, I'm a recruiter. I recruit for the all-volunteer force, right? So then they start getting interested. They start asking you questions, right? And then you get somebody to become your future soldier. You actually put somebody in the Army. Now you have that future soldier that's going back into that community, and then they're going to give you referrals because now they trusted you because you did a red carpet treatment for that person, and they trust you in that community now. So now all those sons and daughters are going to be coming to you wanting the same exact benefits and want the same treatment that you gave that one future soldier that you did the first time. But it was because you broke that cultural barrier, you broke into that neighborhood, not literally, no houses breaking into, right? But you broke in to that society and you actually became their friends and talked to these people, the parents, and then they started giving you their sons and daughters to join the Army. That's exactly what you need to do. All right? You have to break into those different social aspects of it, right? All right, so let's go down to 1-19. Somebody tell me about the physical operational variable. How will that affect your recruiting environment? Wait for a little more hands, Sergeant. Sergeant Brownie, what do you got for me?
The size of the environment that you're in. Like if you're in a small town, you have less personnel to which you can influence in order to join the military, as opposed to a larger city where you have a vast majority of people you can actually speak with and get them to enjoy the service.
Okay, I like it. Somebody else, yes, sorry.
I'm not saying no, but you can use that also in a different way and saying, hey, use a small town where they live in and talk them into like wanting to explore the world and go, hey, you want to get out of the small town, go see things. You can use that to your advantage too.
Sure, you can use those to your advantage. Yes, Sergeant in the back.
You can also use military towns as your advantage as well.
Okay, military towns, okay. So what are we talking? Are we talking about the terrain? Are we talking about what the lay of the land, right? Okay, so if I'm planning and I'm getting ready to go to an appointment and I know that I'm stationed in whatever, the Rockies, and I got to go over these big mountains, right? And it's maybe raining that day, or do I have to plan for that? Is that something that I need to know? I need to know that this guy is actually on the other side of this mountain, right? It's going to take me a lot longer to get around that mountain because there might be a lot of traffic or there might be something going on, right? I need to know the lay of the land so I can get to and from places to make sure that I'm going to be on time, right? Yes, Sergeant, you had one to add.
No, that was it. The driving time.
Okay, the driving distance, right? I'm glad you brought that one up. The driving distance. Some of you are going to have a MEPS 3 hours away. Woo! Right? 3 hours long drive. That's just one way. So, say you have a guy that just needs to take the ASVAB test, right? So you're going to drive this guy 3 hours just to get to the test. Then you're going to sit there and wait for him to take the 3 hour long test. Hopefully you're making phone calls. I would if I wanted to beat my competition, right? While you're sitting there. But then after he's done with the test, you have to drive him back another 3 hours to get him back home. That's 9 hours out of your day right there for one guy to go up there and just do the test. But is that something that you need to know? Yes, exactly, right? You need to know that driving distance so you can plan. So maybe you don't just take that guy up there to test. right? Say maybe you have one or maybe you have two guys that are ready to go. And you know they're going to pass because you gave them the practice test, right? You've done all the paperwork. Now you're getting ready to have them go up and take the test. So now you're going to take one or two guys 3 hours up to MEPS to take the ASVAB, and then they're going to go into the hotel that night, and you might drive back that 3 hours. I got it. That's a lost 3 hours. But then they're going to get up early in the morning. They're going to do the physical, and then they're going to enlist that day. So you're going to drive that other 3 hours back up there, and then you're going to get both of those guys, and you're going to drive them 3 hours back home. Now, sounds like a lot of driving. But you have two contracts now. You just enlisted two people in almost that same amount of time that you were going to take that one guy up there to test and to bring him back. And then you were going to have to take him up there again to do the physical and enlist, right? So that same amount of time, you need to learn how to plan for that and that driving distance, right? Some of you, MEPS is going to be right around the corner, and it's not really going to matter for MEPS, right? You can test those guys all day long. But for some of you that have a long driving distance, you're definitely going to have to plan, and you're going to have to learn about that in your areas, right? All right, so let's go down a little bit, down to 1-20. Time. I think we talked about this, right? Time, how does the time variable affect your recruiting environment? Sergeant Hudson.
That could be, the time that students are in school, knowing, if they're in school from 7 to 3 o'clock, you can go in at lunchtime and do that. Or if it's a day off of school, going to the mall and trying to get them on those days.
Sure. Knowing when the high school is off or on, that's going to take care of your time. You're going to know a little bit about time. Yes, Sergeant, back there.
Time management, since we'll be creating our own schedules and briefing them to our Senate leaders. We
Right.
have to develop a certain battle rhythm that we tested out in the public or at work that we know works, and continue to operate off that time management.
Sure, battle rhythm. Is that something, is he right, class? Exactly, right? Some battle rhythm. You got to get to know that stuff, right? So let's go with, say you're doing the right thing. Let's just say a scenario that you're a great recruiter and you're doing the right thing. All right, so you're waking up, you get in there, you start doing your emails, then you start making your phone calls at the beginning of the day. Then you go out to face-to-face a little bit, get some lunch at McDonald's. You go talk to the guy that's making those sweet, savory fries in the back, right? Then you're going to come back, maybe do some area canvassing in one of your zip codes, hanging up flyers and everything. And then you're going to come back to the office and you're going to do your telephone calls for the afternoon to high school kids. And you're going to look up and it's going to be like 1,600. And you're going to be like, man, where did the day go? If you're doing the right thing and you're always engaged in your battle rhythm and on your plan, then your day is going to go by so much faster, right? So you're going to have to be mindful of that time. If you really want to get something done during that time, you have to plan for it. All right? If not, time is going to slip away from you. Now let's go back to the bad recruiter, right? The guy that's like, oh, I'm just not feeling it today. Right? I'll half do my phone calls in the morning. Oh, it's dragging by, man. It's only like 9:30 in the morning. All right? I'm going to go to McDonald's. He doesn't do any face-to-face prospecting at McDonald's. He just wants his double cheeseburger meal, right? So he's just sitting there. He's like, oh, I guess I'll come back and I'll do, I don't know. I guess I'll do some phone calls. He does some phone calls, right? He looks up and it's already 1,500, 1,600, same thing, right? But he didn't really accomplish anything that day. So he might be thinking, oh man, where did the time go? In a different reason. Man, I didn't get anything done today. You know what? I'm going to extend my time today a little bit so I can make another hour of phone calls. Or, you know what? Today I'm just really burnt out. Tomorrow I'm going to get up, I'm going to do PT in the morning, and then after that I'm going to come in about an hour earlier so I can do the paperwork and everything that I need to get done in the morning in that hour, and then I'll be able to do maybe an extra hour worth of phone calls tomorrow. So I have to make up that time that I didn't really get done the day before. Time is a big, huge factor in recruiting. You're always going to have to realize what time it is and how long it's going to take you to get somewhere. It's going to finish your daily battle rhythm, right? So somebody tell me what the mission variables are. I like it. I like the hands. Sergeant, right here.
MET-TC, so mission,
MET-TC. Okay, I like it. Tell me what it is.
needs, rain, weather, troops and support available, time available, and civil consideration.
Okay, so let's go with enemy first. The enemy variable, right? How's that going to affect your recruiting operations? Sergeant Yarborough, yes.
Is that now you're in that plethora of opportunities of which way someone can go, so they're going to see all their opportunities, and you're going to be one of those paths that they can either choose to take or choose not to take.
Okay. Yes, Sergeant, go ahead.
Also, those that are against us, so that you might be bad-mouthing other people about our organization.
Okay, people that badmouth our organization. I like it. Yes, Sergeant.
Schools, different schools that are promoting like sports and everything else, providing them a better future, more money and everything else before you even get there. So now he's already had an altered mind on, well, I get more for this than what I do for that.
Okay, so a little bit more of our competition are going to be our enemies, right? Sergeant, you had one last one.
Oh, I'm going to read verbatim.
Ah, yes.
The manual. Competing interests, job market, education opportunities, career opportunities for potential recruits.
Okay, so nobody took it dark, which I'm glad. Enemies, right? So yes, exactly. Everything that he just said, all those different competitors that we talked about, schools, right? Other non-DOD jobs, those kind of things. All of our competitors are going to be our enemy. Not in the sense that they're trying to kill us, but they're trying to go after the same exact high school students that we are, right? Those Marines are inside that high school right now, in your high school that you're getting ready to go to in January. Think about that for a second. All right? They're already ahead of the game because they're already out there. They've been out there for a year. They've been in that school for a year. But you're going to have to realize that, and you're going to have to identify that competition that's in that high school, and you're going to have to start building plans now. Start thinking about things that you want to do once you got boots on the ground. Because they're already in that high school. Unless for some reason you get a chance that you guys both switch and there's two brand new people in that high school. Right? But it might not be. It might be that guy's been there for 2 years and he's been going to that same high school and you're brand new and you get afforded that opportunity to go into that high school now, and that's your high school. But you got to think of things now to beat your enemies or your competition. Good? All right, so let's go down to support. What type of support do you think that you're going to get in your recruiting environment? Now, we talked about this, internal, external networks. Who's going to help you out, right? Sergeant LaGrange, yes.
We need support from like the school staff.
Okay, school staff. All right, so anybody from the school, the janitor, right? I like it, the janitor. Something else.
I think the support that you're going to get is going to largely be based on what your recruiting station's already done and how you choose to integrate yourself into the community that you go into. If you're able to get into the school staff, if you're able to get into the Chamber of Commerce, if you can put yourself and your organization in a better light, that's going to just open up all kinds of opportunities for support.
So you're saying that whatever has already been established in your recruiting center already, right? So whose support would that be? Sorry.
So your higher headquarters? So your
Higher, okay, so battalion. What about other recruiters? Didn't we talk about that as well? Right? Your other recruiters, your center leader that's already established inside that recruiting center, he's going to know the ins and outs of that area, right? That previous recruiter that's getting ready to transition out, and you're doing that left seat, ride, right? Trying to talk to him about that area. You're trying to get all that information about that area. Exactly what you were talking about, right? What else? Anybody seen those big 18-wheeler vans? They have Army on the side of them, right? They have that physical fitness one, the pull-up one, the push-up thing. They have the special forces one. They have the helicopter simulator. They got the EOD little remote control thing, right? Now you take that to a high school and you put all the juniors and seniors through there. they're going to give all your contact information, or you're going to get all their contact information, so you're going to be able to call them. Right? You think that's going to be a good support for you? Heck yeah, right? I want those things at every single one of my schools if I can get them in there. Some schools will let you, some schools won't. Right? Anything else that's support? Sergeant.
The media, the Army Strong commercials.
The media. Okay, so at your battalion, I know somebody said your higher headquarters, your battalion, they have the APNA, right, for advertising. Right? So they're going to push all that Army stuff out, just like big Army is going to basically push out all those commercials during the, the wiffle ball championship on ESPN Ocho Cinco, right? Right? The volleyball tournament, or not the volleyball, the dodgeball tournament, right? So advertising, good. Sergeant Williams. Same thing.
Also community events.
Community events, right? Getting your name out there. Sergeant.
So, just another thing would be like the support of your future soldiers as a whole. Because they already know them, they'll be able to help you out and assist you with whatever you need.
Exactly, right? So your internal and your external networks, right? That's going to be your support. Sergeant Merrill, you had one more thing to add.
Funds. Give you whatever tools you need to be more successful. So,
Okay.
money, more tools, more products, more ways you can actually network and get out there.
So money, is he right, class? Money?
Yeah, money.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I like the money aspect of it. No problem. All right, so, hey, we talked a little bit about the internal and external networks for the support and everything, but I got some questions for you right now, okay? So we'll do a little check on learning. Check on learning. Yes, I like it, definitely. All right, first question is, maybe with a loud and thunderous tip of the spear, or one of these, right? What are the 8 operational variables? Sergeant Banks.
Political, military, economic, social, information, infrastructure, physical environment, and time.
Okay, is she right? Whoa. Okay, I like it. I like it. So you guys are getting to know this stuff, right? All right, last question. It's a doozy. Who are the 2 main competitors for the Army? Sergeant Seymour.
The 2 main competitors are sister services and other non-DOD employment opportunities.
Okay, where did you find that at, Sergeant Seymour?
I don't remember what chapter. Let me find it.
Where did he find it?
3-33.
3-33. Exactly, right? So sister services and other non-DOD job opportunities. Are there any questions about identifying the competition? All right, in summary. That was a little weak. In summary. Okay, so we talked about the 8 operational variables. We talked about the mission variables. We talked about a little bit about what threats might be in your area. We talked a little bit about what support you're going to get in your recruiting environment, right? And we also talked about identifying the competition and some of the strengths and weaknesses that we need to exploit for our own center's mission success. All right, the main objective is to recruit for the all-volunteer force. My name is Sergeant First Class Owen, and this has been Identify the Competition.